What happens when we die in Nimble Squad? Nobody really knows for sure, but in man or vampire, we end up in a heaven filled with monsters and vampires, finding our way through a desert or dungeon like the one we're in right now as we continuously grow and expand our team. I often really don't want to spoil things from the beginning, but this game might just be the best strategy RPG I've played till date. So buckle up, guys, you're in for a true treat in this video here today. The game is just amazing overall. I mean, just look at it, right from the art style and the atmosphere, which is what drew me in right from the first minute of playing the game. The game is just gorgeous, not to mention that the levels here have us explore this dungeon, as you guys can see right here, rather openly, rather than forcing us to follow a very certain and strict path. We are free to roam around as we want. We're free to engage as many of the monsters as we want. We could try to avoid them overall. We could try to fight as many of them as we like to attempt to level up our characters, which we can see over here on the left side. But we'll get into more of that very, very soon. But first of all, though, I just want to mention that the best thing ever about this game is that I'm literally scared to die in the game. Because I know that when I do, I'll lose gold, and my character will, well, quite literally die in the game. And it's pretty rare to feel this sense of urgency or consequence in a mobile game, but I really do feel that in this game here, man or vampire. So let's just have a look at how the game plays, how it monetizes, and just see if we can complete this dungeon here without dying, hopefully. There will be a boss monster later on, so be sure to stick around for that. And it looks like we have 5 waves of 5 rounds to go through, or 5 areas to explore before we've 100% completed this dungeon that we're in right now. It seems to differ a bit. Last time I played it was 7 rounds, so this one seems a bit shorter, so maybe we'll be able to go through all of it in this one video here. But first of all, let's talk a bit about the combat. Now that we've engaged an enemy here by tapping on it, we go from the real-time experience of just walking around the dungeon into a turn-based attack position, and it just feels so fluid and so awesome. And overall, our characters have 2 different options. Either they can heal up, either they heal themselves or they heal their allies, or we can attack. And it depends a bit on where we're able to move ourselves, because we have to be able to move pretty close to the enemy to be able to attack it, unless we have someone with a gun that can attack from a far distance, obviously. But in addition to that, we also have skills, we have combos, and much more that really adds a very deep strategic layer to the game, and hopefully you guys will get to see that as we get into some of the bigger fights, because right now most of these have been against just one enemy. Later on, though, we do get into boss fights where there's a big boss and there's also many different smaller enemies. That enemy up there I chose just to run past, though, because I want to get through at least this first part of the dungeon here before making this video all too long. So let's just see if we can continue here without necessarily engaging every single enemy ever. I tend to do that most of the time, but I don't want to do that right now because I want to show you guys some more of this world, though. And we want to really get to these orange plots or spots on the map here, because that's where we can either heal up. Sometimes we get an option to watch an advertisement, by the way, to receive some gems, which is the premium currency. Other times, it just allows us to get some of the mana left if we've used some of the skills. So we want to get to those and want to see what we find there. What do we do with this guy? We can use a concussive shell attack. So you guys can see that. Let me just use that. Look at this. Looks so freaking awesome. It's just the attack animations, which is amazing. I'm loving this game, guys. I could just sit here playing it for forever, honestly, I think. And you can literally do that because there's no energy system in the game either. But we'll get into the monetization later on. The very last notable thing to mention about the combat, by the way, is that as we fight, we of course level up. And if we click over here, you guys can see that that means we can add a bonus point to our character. Either the strength, agility, or intelligence is what we can level up. Or we can level up our skills over here. So for example, you guys saw that we used the concussive shell before. We can choose to level that one up quite a bit, actually. It's gonna cost 1,000 gold to level it up, though. So let's see if we do want to do that. It upgrades it so that it deals 20 more damage, it seems, from 220 to 240. Let's just do that, and it has a 100% success rate, so it's definitely worth it, I think. That's what we can do for every single character as they level up. Not to mention that we can, of course, equip new weapons as we get better new weapons. So, for example, I've got a new rifleman with us over here. He's only level 3 right now, so he can't or she can't use this gun. And I don't want to equip it on this character who can actually use it, because that means that the training musket that we've got on us right now will be consumed. So the game is rather hardcore in that way. It's not like we'll get the item back. It will literally be consumed. Oh, there's a shiny treasure chest down here. Let's try to get to that one. Oh, and we're alerting 3 enemies here. So now we're getting into some of the, at least somewhat bigger combat. Why can't we move that guy more than just one tile at a time? That's kind of frustrating. But luckily, we can move this guy over here, and I think we can finish off the combat here in just basically very few rounds. What we got here, by the way, is a badge scroll, which is the last thing I want to mention about the combat, which is that, yes, there is actually an auto combat system if you want to use that. It does require us, however, to spend some of these scrolls here that we have. You guys can see them in the bottom left corner. They're called basic attack. We have 557 of them right now. We can spend those to enable auto combat, and let me just show you guys that right now. Although with how awesome the combat looks, I really don't get why you would want to turn on auto combat mode. And also we do spend these scrolls here quite quickly. We don't only spend them by... Oh, we can watch an ad here. Okay, I'm not going to do it right now, but this is a really great idea, by the way, to get some premium currency. But in any case, we spend them quite quickly, these scrolls. We don't only spend one to enable the auto combat. We spend one as soon as you guys can see the auto explore is on in the middle bottom of the screen right now. As soon as that reaches 0, we spend another scroll. So we do spend them quite quickly. We do have the option, though, to buy more of them for gold every single day. So if you want to go in here and just grind 1 level or 2 levels while you're doing something else, you can definitely do that. Would I recommend it? Definitely not, because the combat is just so awesome as it is that I would want to engage in it, and I would be kind of worried that I would die if I were you guys. Although you can do so that the auto combat stops if we have less than 50% or 60% or 70% or 40%, whatever you choose really, HP left. So if you do plan to use the auto combat, definitely make sure to have that set up correctly. Now, as for how we unlock new characters, we do that through probably the most interesting gacha system I've ever seen, where we don't pay to explore new heroes, but rather summon one for free and then choose if we want to buy it for gold or premium currency after we've seen which hero it is that we're about to buy. So it removes some of the randomness from the gacha element, and I'm really liking that. And there are just so many different heroes, each with their own profession and unique abilities and skills to be used in games. I'm really loving that system. When we get characters we don't really need, by the way, we can turn them into vampires, which is the only way to level up our main vampire character, by the way. But doing so while making them immortal will mean that they cannot get any more experience points. So there's a bit of a trade-off there. So you might want to wait till you've leveled them up fully, or only spend heroes that you really don't need and then turn them into vampires to level up our main character, because you do want to level him up as well. Since he's a vampire, he can't get experience points either, so that's the only way to get experience points. So you really do want to do that. But the bright side is that the hero can now be revived because it's immortal. So if it dies during combat, you can just revive it. So there's a bit of a trade-off there, but that really just makes the game much more interesting. Now, as for the monetization, then, luckily, there is no energy system, as I mentioned before, and so what we can do is we can buy skins, we can buy premium currency that will allow us to more quickly or faster acquire new characters that we find through the gacha system, and with the premium currency, we can also buy characters directly, some potions, some different types of scrolls, and so on. So to kind of conclude on the monetization, although this game is definitely a gacha game, which means that there is some luck involved, which means that you can spend a lot of money if you want to, I'm still liking this way of monetizing much more than the gacha RPGs, where it's just completely random what we get, and maybe some heroes can only be acquired for premium currency, whereas in this game we actually do have a chance of summoning a hero for free. By the way, we summon the heroes for free, and then we get to choose whether or not we want to acquire it or not. Of course, the hero can be so expensive that we don't have the gold, and thus we need to buy premium currency to be able to afford it, but at least we have the option, and I'm really loving that. And that, of course, in combination with an overall fantastic game that we can come back to. You know, you can go out of these battles here, and you can completely close the game, restart your phone, and get back into battle again. I'm just loving that. It's a great gameplay experience, and I'm glad they enabled a feature like that, that you can return to these levels here, because they do take quite some time, as you guys can already see. Some of these levels might very easily take, 15 minutes, 20 minutes even, if you want to go explore literally every part of the world. Now, though, I'm just really looking forward to the final boss battle, which it seems is right here. So let's disable the auto combat and let's engage this one before we try to conclude on the game. And before I share with you guys the mobile gaming fact of the day. Let's use a concussive shell again here. It's a really strong attack. Let's have a look. Oh, no! No! I didn't see that. It actually attacked a normal unit instead of the boss. That was kind of unfortunate, because now we have to wait to be able to use that skill again. Luckily, we do have skills on the other characters, though, so let's just get them a bit closer to this. opponent here, and we'll be able to use them. So let's get closer. Let's get closer in range. Oh, I'm actually so glad this happened. Look at this, guys. Now we have the option, if we press the yellow tile, to do a combo attack. That's something I have only talked about, but I haven't been able to show you guys, because it only really happens in these longer fights where we get really close to the enemy. So let's tap that right now and just have a look at this gorgeousness. Look at this, guys. So we get to do a critical attack, and the two characters kind of switch position. It just looks so awesome, and I'm really liking it. This is another type of attack we could use there. And we can do the same thing again, actually. Switch positions, do a critical strike there. And now we can actually get close enough with this ranged character here to kill the boss, to defeat the boss. And we got some experience points. What do we do now? I think we might just want to get out of here. So let's just run in this direction and get to the next region, which will finish this off and give me the opportunity to show you guys the gacha system in the game, because I really want to show you guys that. So that is how it works. You go in here and you click search again. Let's do that right now. I probably don't want to buy this guy. Let's just click yes, search now, hope for something awesome, guys. Fingers crossed, maybe a 5-star character. Come on. Okay, we got a 1-star one. We can negotiate, by the way, so we can get it a bit cheaper than 1,000 gold. Let's see, we got 20% discount, it seems, so we can buy it for 799. Let's do that right now, and let's go straight in and feed this archer here to the vampire to level it up. So the way we do that is we tap up here and we choose a hero that we want to sacrifice. So let's do that, and it seems it might just be enough to level up our main hero to level 3, actually, maybe with a bit of luck. Nope, not entirely. Very close to level 3 though. And there we go, the vampire version of the Soul Zero, the archer there. That is awesome. That's how you level up though. And apart from that, we talked about most things already. So we have our new equipment in here. We got quite a bit of equipment in that level right there. We have an inbox where we can, of course, complete missions. We have login events. We have achievements. We have all that good stuff. So definitely be sure to return back to the game as often as you can. And then we have the premium shop in here where we can buy diamonds or the premium currency for up to $100. And then we can spend it on the items that we've already talked about, such as, for example, the skins over here. So guys, what do you think about the game? Be sure to let me know down in the comment section down below. My conclusion is going to be that yes, there's also PvP in this game, and I can't talk too much about that. So far, I think it is going to be slightly pay to win because we can pay premium currency to acquire better characters faster. So of course, you do have an advantage if you do that. Overall though, it's still my favorite strategy RPG, and I just can't wait to dive way more hours into it, and I hope that you guys will really enjoy it if you decide to check it out for yourselves as well. So now for the mobile gaming fact of the day, which is that Subway Surfers hit its monthly download record in June of this year at 52.5 million new downloads. That is just insane. I can't wrap my head around it. A 6-year-old game hitting its monthly download record in 2018, 6 years after release. Oh, and also, by the way, the game still has 100 million active users. How is that possible? It's honestly beyond me. I just don't get it. Such an old game receiving so many new downloads every single day and so many players. I don't get it, guys. But in any case, I'm just happy that you decided to stick around to the end of this video. Be sure to leave a like and a comment down below about what you think about man or vampire. And until next time, just keep gaming, stay awesome, and I'll see you guys around.